Discipline isn't harsh. Discipline is the only way. Discipline is the deciding factor whether we coast through life or we take critical action day in, day out to build the life that we want. My name is Dustin Lamphere, and for the last 6 years, I've been on a personal development journey that has brought me through the trenches, through the Rockies, excuse me, and every other terrain that one could imagine. And I gotta say, it has not been easy, and it has not all been enjoyable, but it has definitely all been worth it for the person that it has transformed me into over the last 6 years, and the person that it continues to elevate me into, this person, this mindset that I've been able to cultivate through the books that I've read, the audiobooks I've listened to, the podcasts that I've watched on YouTube, the conversations that I've had with other leaders and other entrepreneurs and everybody in between has inspired me to seek the personal excellence within myself and see how good I can become as a human being. But there's been one caveat to this. There's been one big problem, and it's actually caused a lot of turmoil recently and a lot of friction in my life. And I want to get it out of the air on this episode, say it the one time, and then we're going to move forwards. But discipline, I want to say this right now because it's forcing me to be disciplined, being accountable and transparent and vulnerable. And there's no better place to do it than right on here in a video. I was told years ago to fake it till you make it. And I took that and I analyzed it, and I built this framework in my head that literally said, you must be the coach, you must be the mentor, you must be the person that when someone watches your content, you come across as the one who has it all figured out, the one that has the answers, and if they listen to you, then they'll get the results they want in their life. And that is so far from the truth, it's almost sickening to think now. And this all came about very recently with a micro breakdown that I had because I couldn't find alignment within myself. And I was butting heads with the people who were closest to me. And I was creating friction with the people who loved me the most and were actually supporting me the most on this journey. And I had to really self-audit and say, why? Why is this happening? What is going on right now? And that takes discipline. That takes accountability to say, hey, what I'm doing isn't getting me the results that I want. And if I keep doing it, I'm going to keep getting the wrong results. And that's insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting to get a different result. It doesn't work. We have to change the actions if we want new results. So, okay, what action do I need to change? And the action that I came to the conclusion I need to change is realizing that I'm not teaching you. I'm not mentoring you. I am not here to inspire you. I am here to share my journey at 36 years old of a father, a boyfriend, a son, a community member, another human being on planet Earth. I'm here sharing my journey from the trenches right next to you. I'm here digging my way towards my mastery, towards the best version of me, the God-created version of me, in creating content, in being on social media now, just happens to be part of that journey. It wasn't. I've only been on social media since 2017. I never had anything but a Facebook. And then I got all the other social platforms. But guess what? I'm here now, and we're going to move forwards, and we're going to dig in the trenches side by side, and I'm going to share my journey, and I'm going to share what hasn't worked for me. I'm going to share what I've struggled with, where I've come from, where I'm at now, what I've learned, what I'm doing, the direction I'm going, the vehicle that I'm operating from. Because one of the best things that did happen to me back in 2018 is I found a vehicle, an online vehicle that has the power, the potential to bring me to any location around the world, impact any human being around the world, and give me the outcomes that I want in any space of my life if I'm disciplined in the right areas and I'm consistent in the right areas long enough. And for the last 6 years, I've pretty much gone to a university course to get to where I am today, to now feel like I have something to share. We all have something to share. But up to this point, I've been like trying to be the coach and the mentor, and I'm not. I live in small town North Dakota, and I struggle more days than I don't. But what I do is I show up every day. I go to the gym. I listen to good content. I push myself. I journal. I hold myself accountable. I expect excellence from myself. I know that I will never give up on my goals. I got a crazy vision, crazy dreams that are in my mind that I believe can be materialized into reality in the world that I live in, why I'm here. And that's what I'm going to work towards. And I believe that excellence is defiance, defying the odds of anything that stands in your way of achieving your greatness needs to be overcome. Personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion in life. The skill sets we build, the mindsets that we craft and cultivate, nobody can take away from us. And discipline is that path. Discipline is the magic. It is the key. It is the recipe to everything around it. You do not become healthy and fit and rich and impactful, influential, a leader, a movement maker if you're not disciplined, if you're not consistent. So my past, I need a drink here. My past has been filled with chaos. It's been filled with ups and downs and alcohol and drugs and problems in relationships and mental warfare on myself and all the things that most people have dealt with. I don't say that for pity or anything. I say it because it's relatable, and I know I'm not the only person that has been there trying to ask and figure out, why is this happening to me? Blah, 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 right? The pattern that I notice with myself is a lot of negative thinking, a lot of inconsistencies, a lack of belief, a lack of self-love, a lack of self-respect, lack of self-trust. And if you notice the repetitive cycle there, it's a lot of self. How we look at ourselves, how we view ourselves, how we love ourselves, believe in ourselves, the overall analysis that we have on ourselves is going to impact the actions that we take on a day-to-day, how we feel, our energy, our vibration, right? It's going to impact that massively. So the shift that I've really started making is realizing that I can't just wing the day. I can't just wake up in the morning to an alarm clock and just say, okay, I'm going to go about my day. And the only thing that's going to be structured is when I show up to work, when I go to my appointments, and yeah, that's about it. No, we need to be structured of what time we're waking up, what time we hit in the gym, what time we're doing this. And yeah, not everything's going to be exact. We're human beings, but go to the gym at the same time every day if you can. Try to eat your meals roughly at the same time. Get your body in a routine. Make sure that you're getting your water in and you're hydrating early on in the day. Make sure you're stretching your body out. This is awesome for injury prevention. You never know what's going to happen during the day. If you stretch out early in the morning, you get your body stretched out, you just feel better and everything. Get some sunlight, do some deep breathing, do these natural things that are free to do. Don't take much time, but have such positive benefits. Be disciplined in those areas in the morning, focusing on yourself, and start your morning off powerful, right? And the biggest thing I'm doing now is I'm focusing on being present. I'm focusing on being in the moment. I'm focusing on realizing that we don't know how much time we have. And if you have children, if you're a parent like myself, kids are growing up crazy fast. Time is just, the faster we get, it seems like time goes by faster and faster. And this is just a realization that we don't have time. Right now is the best time to take action on growth, on excellence in your life, on moving in a forward progression towards the outcomes you want, no matter what they are. But your core areas, your personal growth, your mindset and your fitness, and then your business and your finances, your relationship and your family and your household, your spirituality and your connection to creator, whatever you believe in. But these are things that we should be focused on and figure out how we can improve. The discipline is self-respect and action. Kind of just hit on that. But it's how you view yourself and the things you do because you view yourself. You're either taking good, positive, powerful actions because you know you're worthy and deserving and you love yourself and you want to get better, or you're taking bad, harmful decisions, poisoning your body, not letting your body heal after being sick or injury or recovery, and just breaking it down, poor sleep, poor routine, poor nutrition, and just not caring. That's lack of discipline, right? Discipline doesn't take freedom. It gives it back. So when we think, oh, well, I don't have time to do this and this. No, you have the time. Investing the time to get better now is going to pay dividends and down the road. Think about all the people that thought they had the time, but then they end up spending hours in the hospital, or they ended up in the nursing home or assisted living at 65 years old, and they lived there for 20 years. Imagine 20 years of your life you just lost now. Maybe that could have been avoided. Maybe it couldn't have. Everybody's got a different story, but I would rather take action now saying, hey, I'm going to keep my body strong. I'm going to keep my body active. I'm going to keep my mind sharp. I'm going to use these tools that I've been given, my arms, my hands, my legs, my ears, my eyes, my nose, my mouth. I'm going to use all these things that God gave me, and I'm going to make them better. I'm going to use them to their fullest potential, right? That's discipline in the right areas, in my opinion, my friend. So we use discipline the right way. How do we use discipline the right way? We make micro promises to ourselves. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up. I'm going to take a 10-minute walk. I'm going to do 10 minutes of body weight exercise and 10 minutes of stretching. And then you get up and you do it. You do it over and over and over again. And you build a habit. That's discipline. Lack of discipline is saying, I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to stretch. And you get up in the morning, and next thing you know, it's noon, and you're like, darn, I didn't stretch this morning. Not discipline. It's not a habit. It's not a routine in your life, right? Excuse me. Another thing, identity-based. Your identity needs to be based around your discipline. What I mean by that is, why do you do the things that you do? Do you want to be better at home? Do you want to be better in business? Do you want to be better around your peers? Do you want to look better in the mirror? Do you want to feel stronger? Why are you doing it? Attach the identity of who you are going to become if you follow through on the task for an extended period of time to see the result. Once there's an attachment to the identity, I want to be the best at. When my daughters are growing up and they're my age in their 30s, I want to them genuinely can look back and say, I love my dad. I love that he was authentic. I love that I got to watch him struggle, and every time he struggled and he failed, he got back up and he pushed forwards and he trudged on, and he was accountable, and he wasn't always the nicest and he wasn't always the most fair, but he knew when to say sorry and he knew when to be there. And I'm not that all the time, but I want to be. I want to be the son that my parents are proud of, saying, yeah, he made some mistakes. He had faults. We all have faults, but he really tried. He worked hard. He works hard. He does good things. He wants to help people. And I want my girlfriend to be proud. I want her to feel loved. I want my peers and my business partners to know I care. And these aren't things that come from words. These are things that come from actions. And actions come from showing up every day and doing the right, taking the right actions consistently. Right? That's how we build trust with ourselves and trust with others. Non-negotiables. A health non-negotiable. A family non-negotiable. A money non-negotiable. Daily non-negotiables that happen no matter what. It doesn't matter if the world's burning down. Anybody can do 10 push-ups, 10 squats, 10 jumping jacks, 10 burpees, 10 lunges. Next thing you know, you've done 10 sets of 10 and you just did 100. Done. Check box for the day. That is discipline. That is winning. That is showing up with integrity. That is how I choose to live. I have fallen short many times. But this is why we work. This is why we show up. This is why we keep pushing forwards. Because the only way to get better is to put in the reps, right? Just read an article. Michael Jordan did not become the best basketball player to live without missing 9,000 shots during games. Can you imagine that? Out of all the shots he made, out of all the points he scored, he missed 9,000 shots in his career. I don't even mean 9,000 shots. Anyways, if you're in the trenches and you're battling every day, if you're showing up and you're fighting to become a better version of yourself, you know you're meant for more. Maybe you haven't found the vehicle that is the right fit for you. Maybe you are struggling in a hard relationship right now that you don't know if you're going to be able to fix or you're going to have to call it quits on. Maybe you're struggling with your health and you're at a low point right now, or you've struggled with obesity for a long time and you're at the crossroad where you're like, I need to lose weight. I can relate to all those. I've struggled with relationships. I struggle with obesity. I still battle with my weight. I struggle in all these areas on more days than I would like to admit. But every time I have a struggle, I now take a self-audit. I now evaluate and I now ask myself a couple questions. Why is this happening again? What can I do to grow from this right now? And how can we make this better in the future? If we start doing these things, we start asking these questions and holding ourselves accountable, then we can start moving forwards. So if you're in the trenches, just know you're not alone. Keep pushing forward. You're worthy and deserving. And anybody that does comment down below, I will respond. Drop where you're focused on right now. Are you focused on money? Are you focused on fitness? Are you focused on family? Are you focused on yourself? Are you focused on starting a business? Where are you focused on being the most disciplined right now in 2026? That's all I got. Remember, discipline isn't harsh. Discipline is the path. We must become disciplined. Excellence is defiance. Defy every barrier that is in your way. Internal barriers, external barriers. Move through them. Do not let them stop you. Go out there, be relentless, chase your own personal excellence, and I'll chat with you here on the next video. Thank you, and later for now.